Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive.
Today, we're going to be tackling the world of IoTeX,
Okay,
a blockchain platform that's custom built for the Internet of Things.
IoT, for those in the know.
Right.
Now, you've probably heard about the IoT. It's kind of a big deal,
Yeah.
but we're going beyond the hype. We're joined by an expert to really dissect their white paper.
And understand what IoTeX is all about.
Yeah, and those white papers, those can be dense.
Oh, tell me about it.
We're here to break it down, pull out the interesting bits,
Exactly.
because IoTeX isn't just about connecting your fridge to your toaster.
Right.
They're tackling some serious issues, frankly, that could make or break the whole dream of the IoT.
Yeah.
We're talking scalability, privacy, and whether all this connectivity can actually become something more valuable.
Like truly life-changing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
IoTeX has identified three core problems.
That they're aiming to solve.
Okay.
And it's really insightful how they framed these challenges.
So IoTeX has identified these core problems.
Okay.
Let's break them down. What's the first hurdle they're tackling?
The first one is scalability. Think about it. Billions, even trillions of devices.
All trying to send and receive data at once.
Wow.
Current systems, which are
Right.
largely centralized,
Right.
simply weren't built for that.
Yeah, it's like trying to squeeze the entire population of Earth through the door of a coffee shop at the same time.
Chaos.
That's a pretty accurate picture.
And this ties into the second problem, privacy.
The more devices we have collecting data, the greater the risk of leaks, breaches,
Right?
and frankly, just plain creepy surveillance.
Yeah.
And while some blockchains offer pseudonymity, IOTEX argues that this isn't enough.
It's like putting a fake mustache on.
It might disguise you for a second, but it's not true privacy.
Exactly.
And this leads us to the third issue, a lack of real tangible value in how devices interact.
Okay.
Right now, most IoT solutions are about connectivity for the sake of connectivity.
Your fridge can tell you you're low on milk. Great.
Right.
But IoTeX envisions a future where your devices don't just tell you things, they start making smart decisions and taking action.
Hold on. You're saying my devices could start collaborating.
Like some kind of digital dream team working behind the scenes to make my life easier.
In a way, yeah. But to do all this, IoTeX needs a revolutionary approach.
And this is where their blockchains within a blockchain architecture comes into play.
Okay, this is where it gets really cool. So what exactly is a blockchain within a blockchain?
It sounds almost fractal.
Picture this. You're familiar with the internet, right?
Yeah.
You've got all these different networks dedicated to specific purposes.
IOTEX takes a similar approach but applies it to the blockchain
They have smaller networks called subchains.
that are dedicated to particular tasks or communities.
These subchains are all interlinked through a secure backbone called the root chain.
Okay? I'm starting to see how this is really clever.
It's like giving each IoT ecosystem its own private, streamlined internet connection.
Precisely.
And that's how IoTeX addresses both scalability and privacy.
Each subchain can be custom tailored, whether it's for your smart home, a network of self-driving cars,
Or even a global supply chain.
so it's not a one-size-fits-all blockchain.
It's more like a custom-fitted suit for every IoT application.
But what does that actually mean for the average person?
Like, how does this impact me?
This is where things get really exciting.
Imagine a world where your devices operate more efficiently
Your data's more secure.
and transactions happen at lightning speed,
Okay, so we've got these tailored subchains humming along.
boosting efficiency and privacy.
Right.
But I can't help but wonder about the nuts and bolts of it all.
The white paper mentions something called relayable payment codes.
What in the world are those?
It's a fascinating concept, really.
Think of it like this. You want to rent an e-scooter, right?
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily want your identity broadcasted on a public ledger for anyone to see.
Yeah. I'm not sure my mom needs to know about my late-night scooter adventures.
Precisely. Relayable payment codes allow for transactions.
Where the only parties that even know the transaction is happening are the sender and the receiver.
Wait, so it's like a secret transaction? How does that even work?
Think of like sending a message that's encrypted to everyone but the intended recipient.
Only they have the key to unlock it and read it.
Relayable payment codes offer that same kind of privacy for transactions.
That's seriously cool. But how do we know no one's cheating the system? How can we be sure everything is, on the up and up?
That's where ring signatures come in.
Imagine a digital signature.
They could come from anyone in a specific group.
This makes it incredibly difficult to trace the signature back to a single source.
Enhancing anonymity without relying on a central authority.
So instead of a single John Hancock, it's like a whole group signed off on it.
making it practically impossible to figure out who the real signer was.
That's a great way to put it.
And then we have bulletproofs.
These are a method for proving that a transaction is valid
without revealing the actual amounts involved.
It's like a magician proving they have something in a box without opening it.
We know something's there, but we don't know what it is.
Yes.
And more importantly, you don't need to see inside the box to know that the magician's being truthful.
That's the beauty of bulletproofs.
For you, this means you can trust that a transaction is legitimate.
Without anyone seeing your private financial details.
Okay, so we've got secret transactions, group signatures, and magic boxes.
It's all very intriguing.
But how does this translate to real-life benefits?
Give me an example.
Let's take the example of a shared economy.
Imagine a platform like Airbnb.
But instead of a central company managing everything,
it's all powered by IOTEX.
So I could rent out my apartment directly to someone else.
Without a company taking a cut or accessing my personal data?
Exactly. That's the potential here.
Trust is built into the system itself, thanks to those ingenious technologies we discussed.
And it's not just about renting apartments.
Right.
Think about sharing tools, vehicles.
Even your Wi-Fi with your neighbors.
All facilitated securely and transparently on the blockchain.
Okay, now you're speaking my language.
What other real-world applications does IoTeX offer?
Another great example is smart homes.
Right now, many smart home devices rely on the cloud for processing,
which can lead to delays and security vulnerabilities.
But with IoTeX, your devices could communicate and make decisions locally.
Without needing to rely on a central server.
So no more waiting for my smart lights to slowly flicker on.
Because they're busy chatting with a server 1,000 miles away.
Exactly. My lights respond instantly, my thermostat adjusts automatically, and it's all happening right here.
Right.
Not on a server, who knows where.
Yeah, and it hints at a larger trend that IoTeX enables. This like decentralized living. You're not just controlling your devices, you're controlling your data, how it's used.
Right.
No more tech giants knowing your every move.
Okay, now that's empowering. But I have to admit, thinking about all these devices interacting, making decisions, it's a little,
It's a little like that moment in a sci-fi movie right before the robots become self-aware.
Well, we're not quite there yet.
Right.
But you touch on a crucial point. As we move toward a more interconnected world, we need to think carefully about the implications.
So it's not just about building cool tech, it's about building it responsibly.
Absolutely.
And that's what makes IoTeX so intriguing.
They're not shying away from those bigger questions.
Right.
They're actively thinking about security, privacy, and the ethical dimensions of a truly decentralized Internet of Things.
Okay, so for those of us listening who are maybe just starting to wrap our heads around all of this, what's the key takeaway here?
The key takeaway is this. IoTeX isn't just another blockchain project.
Okay.
It has the potential to fundamentally change how we interact with the world around us. It's about shifting from passive consumers to active participants empowered by technology that works for us.
Not the other way around.
It's about taking back control, owning our data.
And maybe making our lives a little easier, a little more efficient in the process.
Precisely.
And who knows?
Maybe even making the world a slightly better place along the way.
I like the sound of that.
Well, there you have it, folks. Another deep dive
into the fascinating world of IoTeX. Big thanks to our expert for breaking it all down for us.
My pleasure.
And for you listening, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and definitely keep an eye on IoTeX. This is one technological revolution you won't want to miss.